So some time back, I posted on my social media networks and said that it is possible to invest in the Nairobi Securities Exchange with 300 Kenya shillings. And I got questions on people asking or inquiring in my inbox of how possible this is, or is this achievable? And so today's video is addressing this very same question: how to invest or how to buy stocks in the Nairobi Securities Exchange, especially for beginners with little money. So sit back, and even if you have more money and you've not started investing, so this is the video for you. It will get you guidance into the investment journey. So if you're new here, my name is Eunice, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're a returning subscriber, karibu sana. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. And please, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel for very insightful videos on investments, on savings, on business ideas, on faith, on life in general. And I hope you, and not hoping actually, I know you will get much knowledge that is needed in this finance sector. So thank you so much, and karibu sana. So I remember going back to my story. I remember when because I really desired to start investment journey quite a long time back, and I started looking for information. Then I think I was not savvy with the internet, and I did not know much about the internet. And so I went asking for questions from people that I thought would have the information, and I was really not getting the information. So much of it I've had to research for myself and on my own, and get to, and do several courses here and there to learn how to do these things. So if you're like me, please, I have all this information for you today. And please note, let me just put a disclaimer that this video is for educational purposes. Yeah, I'm not just directing you to go and invest in this certain stock. So it is for educational purposes, and it is for your own consumption, and you make choices and decisions on where to invest. So karibu sana. So investing in the securities exchange, for starters, one requires to have a CDS account. A CDS account is an account held with the CDSC, that is the Central Depository Settlement Corporation, and this is a limited company that holds all securities that are being traded in trust. It's a body, the same as Nairobi Securities Exchange. It's a body under the CMA, Capital Markets Authorities, and we know all these financial markets, they are all under one body of the Treasury. So yeah, so you have to have that account as your number one. So getting this account, nowadays it becomes so easy, because initially you'll be told you have to go to the Treasury, not the Treasury, to the central bank, and apply to get to the CDS account. So nowadays it's become easier, because even through the brokers, you are able to just get an account, a CDS account, and be able to trade your shares. So that is the number one, but you will get, it depends with who you're investing these shares with. So the other thing that you need to know is that when you're investing, especially now when you're starting, you will need to consult or to go through brokers. We have several brokers in this market. We have I wonder whether it's Genghis or Jengis. So we have several AIB Capital, we have the Kingdom Securities. Yeah, so we have different brokers. You can research and find their ratings, and also, yeah, as you dive and look for information on that. So you can do that research on finding a broker who you feel suitable or comfortable working with. You can just do your due diligence on the broker, but you need to have a broker. So when you're doing stocks, when you want to invest in stocks, there are two markets that you can buy your first stocks from. The markets are, we have one primary market, and then we have secondary market. Primary market, amongst other things, involves the first, when a company issues an initial public offer, the IPOs. We hear companies announcing they have IPOs when a private company wants to come into public. So it is the issuance of an IPO that is the primary market, because through that you will have to go, you just buy the stocks directly. But the normal day-to-day trading happens under the secondary market, which is the Nairobi Securities Exchange. So, and that is what I've said, when you're investing in Nairobi Securities Exchange, you can trade. If you have your CDS account, you can trade on NSE Live, but the best way to go is through the brokers, because now the brokers are able to advise you on maybe a stock if you're not in a position to do your background check well enough. But it is always good to research and find out this information for yourself. So number one, you said you need to have a CDS account, and then we have number two, which is you need to identify a broker who will help you or whom you'll invest with in the stock markets, the stock trading or the shares buying or the securities journey. So one thing that I would want you to know is that whenever you buy shares, as we have said, the CDSC holds these shares in trust. So there's no way you lose your shares up or in between, because all the shares that are traded, all the securities traded, are held by the capital market, by the CDS, the Central Depository Settlement Corporation. They're the ones that holds us. So don't be afraid that you're going to lose your stock or what have you. So they hold the stocks. So then something else that now you need to know, it's identifying. So let me go back to when you've identified a broker, then you need to know which company or which industry that you want to invest in. So there are different, very many. I think we have like maybe 60 something stocks that are traded on Nairobi Securities Exchange, and these stocks are divided into several sectors. Just to mention, we have the banking sector, we have the insurance sector, we have the investment sector, we have the energy and petroleum sector. I'm looking into my notes because there are many and I don't want to leave out some. So we have the real estate, we have the agricultural, we have the manufacturing, we have the telecommunications and technology. So there are very many sectors, and you need to identify which sector that you want to invest in. If you're very new in this, if you're very green in this area, your broker can help you, but it is very important for you to do a due diligence on companies before investing in them. Also, for when you're getting your broker, it is also very important to do some background check on the brokers, and also check their ratings, how they're being rated in the market, so that you develop a trust, so that even the information they give you, you'll be able to trust them and even to move with it. Yeah. So as I've said before, investing in a company, do your fact checks. And with this, there's a very simple ways where you can go through this. You can do some fundamental analysis or technical analysis, where you just go back, check the past prices, check how these companies have been performing, check the leadership of the companies. How is it? Who is the CEO? How has the CEO been performing in other sectors where he's led? Or how is this company? How is it performing? Or look at the industry. Yeah, look at the industry. What do you think? Is the industry promising? Is the agricultural industry promising, depending on the times that we are in? You would want to think, are people still making calls in this time and age? Are people buying internet? So is a telecommunication company worth investing in? And when I'm releasing this video, it's a very good time to invest, especially if you have that spare money, because with this time, most stocks have gone down because of the election period and all that, the uncertainties that investors have. So if you're a risk taker, it is a very good time to go into this. Yes. So that you just do your background check and identify what company you would want to invest in. So different companies have different prices. So their shares cost differently. And when I said you can invest with 300 Kenya shillings, what I meant is there are companies that have their shares are even less than a shilling. Yeah, there's some that are around 2 shillings. So like maybe like CIC is under insurance. It's been trading at 2 shillings and some cents. So what happens is, when you want to invest to buy shares, the minimum shares you can buy is 100 shares for a given company that you want to invest in. So let's say, for instance, you want to buy shares from CIC. So CIC, let's say it's trading at 2 shillings and 40 cents today. So what you do is take that 2 shillings and 40 cents and multiply by 100 shares and see what you get. So you get something like around 240 shillings. So that is what you need to buy your first 100 shares. Then there is a cost from the brokers. There is some kind of agent fee, and it's in percentage. So normally for less than I think 200,000, if I'm not wrong, you're charged an interest of 2.107% if it hasn't changed. So that is the much they will charge you for such. So you can do the 2.107% of 240 shillings and see what interest that will be, and then now you add on that. So that means you, with 300 bob, you can buy shares in that given company. And this is what I meant. So it is not like out of this world. It is very possible. So, and they say a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. You can just start there, and then you look at how is the banking sector performing. Then you want to jump off and and go into that. So look also, do background check of different companies, if it's in the banking sectors, if it is in the telecommunication, if it's in the agricultural. Look at the most promising industry you think it is, and put your foot in. The only way to go about this is put your foot in and start learning the process, and it is a rewarding thing. When you look at it, the beauty of maybe stocks, and right now like the Nairobi Securities Exchange have introduced the day trading. It may not seem like so much, like a very huge investment right now, or maybe have a very huge impact right now, but what there is that once the market picks well enough, it will be a good thing. So what this means is that day trading means that you are able to buy and sell shares the very same day if you think that you've made something. So what this requires is that you don't do this at a loss. So most of the time you look at the performance, because a day is a very short time. A day, 24 hours, 48 hours is a very short time for you to determine how this stock is performing. It may just have had something that has happened, or there's some news that has come about certain companies, and investors have developed cold feet, so they pull out. And because the NSE, the market is powered by demand and supply. So if there is some negative news about a given company, so investors will develop cold feet and they pull out. And when they pull out, that means they sell their shares, then the stocks will go down, because it means that now the demand for that certain share or stock is going down. So when the demand is low, then it would mean that the prices will also go down. So again, if for instance something is coming up, or there's a hype that is happening about a given sector, you'll find so many investors going into that particular sector. Like we had this when there was a news, the Safaricom was going into Ethiopia, in the Ethiopian market. So you realize you found, or maybe how the M-Pesa is performing, just some little news about a given company. Anything that is perceived as positive will make this stock to go up, to go up very fast. And so this one, the price is also powered by so many people want to buy into this stock. So that will increase the price because the demand is high of a particular stock. So people will come in and buy. That is what actually powers this. That is what affects the pricing of the stock. So you can identify, depending on which area you want to go into, you can identify that area and identify again now with the area. The area is broad because now you look at the banking sector. We have NIC Bank, we have Equity Bank, we have Barclays Bank, it's called what? Absa Bank, we have Cooperative Bank, we have different banking under the banking. So you just need to identify which one you'd go into. You can check their assets, you can check their, there's so many factors that you need to check. And if you don't know how to go, but that's what I said, and broker will help you in going into that. So yeah, so that's the way you can invest in the stocks with very little money, or even with whatever much. So let's say, for instance, like we look at Safaricom has been trading at around 37 shillings. If you want to buy 100 shares, that would be 3,700. And you can start there. But remember, you need to pay the brokerage fee. And then now, if you want to invest to buy 1,000 shares, then that would mean you need 37,000 Kenya shillings plus something on top for the brokerage. That's 2.107% of the 37,000 Kenya shillings. So just do your maths and do your due diligence well enough and know which one or which stocks to buy, also which broker to invest with or to use as you buying your money. One thing that it's very sure is that, when in the financial markets, it's very easy to liquidate. Sometimes you might make loss, yeah, because when you see that a certain stock is not performing as you want, you don't want to be rigid and say, no, I will wait until it performs, because there are different ways of earning. It's through dividends. When you see how the stock is performing, then you get dividends at the end of the year. Then you can also do the capital gains ways. where you sell when you see a stock has gone up and you've made some profits. You can always sell that stock and get back your money. So it's considered as, you know, it's easy to liquidate your money as opposed maybe to a different investment where you have to look for a buyer, because this one you just have to put it out there that I'm selling this certain amount of shares, and when you're going through maybe a brokerage, it's easier because you will sell, you get your sale is presented, and then the buyers will be available to buy your stock. So it has an easy way of liquidating your funds. But let me just put a disclaimer, is that it is a high, you know, it is an investment with high returns, and when that is expected, then there are high risks involved. But as we know, if you are an investor, you have to take risks. Yeah. So even if you're not in Kenya, it is very possible to invest, because all these brokers have their online platforms where you can go about it, and you can deposit your funds with you can deposit your funds through maybe the different money transfers that we have, and the money will be deposited in your account. You actually see, especially with apps, you'll actually always see your balance, and when you've made a sale of when you bought some shares, then it is deducted from there plus the interest. So you have to put some deposits for you to buy stocks. So it is possible. You just use the money transfer platforms, and depending on what companies you're operating with, you just don't have to present. You know, we are living in the digital era, and these things have been made so easy. So you just identify a broker, engage with them, know how to put your deposits, ensure you have your CDS account is active, and begin your investment journey. It's never too late to begin. It's never too early to begin. We are always in the right time. But again, the earlier, the better. Because now when you start, and again, if you're not so sure, you can start with a little amount. Of course, you know, with a little amount, when you start with buying 100 shares, then what that will mean is that even when you're getting your dividend, or maybe when you want to sell those shares, you get the profit margins will be low because it's based on the 100 shares that you bought. So it is always good. You can just start small and build your portfolio. And also one thing, that don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like you said, today I'm just going into the telecommunications, and you invest your 100,000 in the telecommunications. No, you can split into different sectors. Put this amount into this banking sector, invest in the insurance industry, invest in the telecommunication, invest with IRAs. As I said, mentioned earlier, real estate investment trust. Put your money there. Look for other investment companies that are also investing in different, like maybe for an example, we have Centum. So invest in these different sectors. Don't just go into one sector and then you go into banking and then you're investing into 3 different banks. So what would happen if there's a crash in the banking industry? I'm just giving an example. Then it means all your money goes down the drain, and you do not want that, because that can be the worst experience. So just distribute. You make your diverse portfolio. Do this here, do this here, do that there. And as I said, once you've sold some shares, the money is put back into your account. Not your bank account or your M-Pesa account, but your CDS account. You'll be seeing from the app or from the platform, you'll be seeing how much balance you have, and then now you can decide on how much you want to buy. You know, thank God that we are living in a very totally different area where you don't have to present your money and then they tell you we'll buy these certain stocks. Right now, through the apps of the different brokers, you're able to click on and say, I want to buy shares. You just enter, buy shares for me, buy shares, 100 shares from CIC, 1,000 shares from Safaricom, 1,000 shares from NIC. So you're able to click and do this transaction yourself. Them is just facilitate. So it's just a wonderful way to go about it. Just get into it, try it, and dig deep. Find as much information as you can. Yeah, and I hope this is helpful, and that you can get into it. Begin today. There's no waiting for tomorrow. I said you can do it with 300 bob or even less, depending on the company, but just don't invest blindly. Invest wisely after doing a proper research of the given company that you'd want to invest in. So I think it will be it for today. I hope to come back and please put in the comment section whether you find this video you find this video helpful, or just come back and say I started or I'm doing this. Yeah, it's I'll be so grateful. So thank you so much, and again, please consider subscribing to this channel. Until next time, it's a bye for now.